When a court case finally ends and the judgment comes down, you'd think that's the end of the story, right? Well, for the money involved, a whole new and incredibly complicated journey is really just getting started. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that whole process.
And it's a great question to ask because it's not nearly as simple as just, writing a check. There's this massive, often invisible paper trail that decides who gets paid, when they get paid, and how. And believe me, it is a process just loaded with potential problems.
That's exactly right. For the legal and financial pros who handle all this, they're called fiduciaries. Winning the case is literally just the starting line. What comes next is a total marathon of paperwork, compliance checks, and verifications, where even one tiny misstep can cause huge delays or even new legal challenges. Okay, so let's dive into what this paper trail actually is. For decades, this whole world has run on physical documents, faxes, and manual checks. It's created a system that's incredibly slow, it's expensive, and it is just begging for errors to happen. I mean, the difference here is just night and day. Think about it. The old way, with its snail mail and manual everything, it's like trying to navigate a cross-country road trip with a paper atlas. You're highlighting routes by hand, and one wrong turn can get you completely lost. The new way? It's like having a real-time GPS app. It's instant, it course corrects automatically, and it gives you a crystal clear view of the entire journey from start to finish. So how do you make that jump from a paper map to a GPS? Well, you build a centralized digital platform, something designed from the ground up to bring order, speed, and, most importantly, security to this entire process. And this whole thing is built to support what are called fiduciary operations. So, what's a fiduciary? Simple. It's a person or an organization, think estate executors, trustees, big financial institutions, who are legally required to act in the best interest of another party. They have this huge responsibility, and this technology is built to help them get it exactly right. And what this does is it completely transforms the process. Instead of, dozens of disconnected steps spread across different people, different systems, everything is now brought under one roof. This one digital hub manages a claim from the moment it's submitted all the way to the final payment. It creates one single seamless workflow. So, how does this actually work in the real world? Let's break it down. We're going to follow the journey of a single financial claim as it moves through this new digital ecosystem. It all really boils down to these 4 critical stages. First, a claim is securely submitted. Then, it's automatically validated against a whole bunch of rules. After that, it's tracked in real time by everyone who needs to see it. And finally, the money is sent out with full verification. It's just logical, it's transparent, and it's incredibly efficient. And there's some seriously powerful tech driving each step. During submission, optical character recognition, that's OCR, it reads documents with 99.7% accuracy. That pretty much eliminates any manual data entry mistakes. Then, the system automatically checks the claim against 27 different compliance points. A live dashboard shows exactly where everything is at any given moment. And when it's time to pay, it supports everything from wire transfers to digital payments. Of course, when you're moving this kind of sensitive legal and financial data online, security isn't just a feature, right? It has to be the absolute foundation of the entire system. And we're not talking about your basic password protection here. This is real bank-grade security. 256-bit AES encryption, that's the same standard used to protect classified government information. That SOC2 certification means the platform has passed a super strict audit to prove it handles data safely and privately. On top of all that, every single action creates a permanent audit trail, and the system is always watching for anything that looks suspicious. You've probably used multi-factor authentication, or MFA, yourself. It's that really simple but powerful idea that a password alone just isn't enough anymore. By making you prove it's you with a second thing, like a code sent to your phone, it makes sure only the right person gets in. It is an absolutely critical layer of defense. So, we have a smarter workflow and we have a more secure system. But what's the actual bottom line impact of all this? This is where the story gets really compelling. 73%. Let that number sink in. That is the average reduction in the time it takes to process a claim from beginning to end. We're talking about something that used to take months, now getting done in just a few weeks. That is a total game changer for everyone involved. And then there's this, an 89% drop in errors. I mean,
Think about all the costly mistakes, the compliance nightmares, the legal risks that are just gone because the validation process is automated. This isn't just about moving faster. It's about getting it right the first time. And it all adds up to real money. On average, every professional using this system saves over $12,000 a year. That's real cash saved on admin costs, which lets them focus on what they're actually supposed to be doing. And this chart just puts that time savings into perfect perspective. The old manual way took about 90 days, 3 months. The digital process gets it done in around 24 days. This is not a small improvement. It's a completely different way of operating. And here's what it looks like for the people actually on the ground. This quote from a senior estate executor says it all, really. What used to take weeks now happens in days, with complete transparency. She even points out that the automated checks saved them from 3 potential regulatory problems in just 1 quarter. That's working faster and smarter. You know, at the end of the day, this is about so much more than just convenience. By making sure that financial judgments are handled quickly, accurately, and securely, this kind of technology actually boosts the entirety of the entire justice system. It's about making sure the final step of the legal process is just as strong and trustworthy as the first. Which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. We've seen almost every other part of our financial lives go digital. So, is the complex, high-stakes world of legal finance finally catching up? And could this be the blueprint for how our entire legal system is going to operate in the future?